What's up, everybody? It's Jamel Gibbs. Today, I'm in Richmond, Virginia. Now, a few weeks ago, I did a video podcast episode. I'll link it up at the top for you with my boy Danill Kleyman, and we talked about how he was building to hold properties. A lot of people build to sell. He's building to hold. In that video, I asked you guys if you wanted me to come out and show you some behind the scenes footage. That's exactly what we're doing today. So today you're gonna learn, you're gonna see how he's building properties, you're gonna see what the outcome of the build of some of these properties are, and you're gonna learn how you can get started with it as well. So with that being said, let's jump into this content.
So this is the primary commercial sort of artery of this whole neighborhood. So when all is said and done, we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 businesses along the street, right? So there's already a juice bar there. There's a yoga studio. There's going to be an ice cream parlor here that we signed a lease with. Next to it is going to be a real estate office, then a co-working space, then a ramen noodle shop, and then a cocktail lounge. So when all is said and done, you're going to be able to stay here in the Airbnbs, come downstairs, get breakfast, exercise. You've got a place to work at the co-working space. You can go get dessert, you can go get lunch, you can go get drinks and dinner at night. You actually don't have to leave the block. But if you leave the block, you've got an amazing restaurant across the street, and you've got an amazing bakery across the street too.
You got the world-renowned right here, world-renowned
Sub Rosa Bakery, Roosevelt Restaurant. So these are like nationally written about businesses that are amazing, and when all is said and done, you have an incredibly walkable environment here, a place where people live, work, play, and yeah, you got that kind of New York vibe where you don't really need to drive.
Yeah.
You can live here for a week and never have to get into your car.
Danill took an entire area, and although all of this is, he's basically building a community.
It's highest and best use, right? So you look at a particular piece of real estate, sometimes you're better off just putting apartments there. Right? That's its highest and best use. You look at this piece of real estate and you say the highest and best use is going to be commercial space, something that can serve the community. We could have gotten this rezoned probably and taken the safe way out and just put apartments here. Apartments are easy to rent. Apartments are easy to turn. Somebody moves out, I've got somebody moving in there tomorrow.
Right.
Commercial space with it carries a lot of risks.
Yeah.
Not only that, but we're investing heavily into the build out of our commercial tenants. So just the corner space alone, we're stroking him a 6-figure check for his build out. So we're partners in these businesses essentially, because we're investing in their build out. And the build outs are so specific that if that tenant fails, or let's say they want to relocate after 5 years, I can't just swap tenants.
Right.
And put somebody else in there next week. It's going to take me time to find new tenants. When the new tenants come in, they're going to want to redesign that space, and I'm going to stroke another check to contribute to their build out. So, mixed use development is great from a community building perspective, right? You get to create cool freaking places where, again, you're serving the whole community, right? But there's financial risk to it as well.
So this is a pretty good sized project. You have what, 12 units in here?
No, there's
6?
21 apartments here, and then 4 or 5 commercial spaces.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 21 apartments, 4 or 5 commercial spaces. This is a pretty big project, significant size. Most people are not going to jump into this right away. Were you afraid taking this type of step when you first started doing projects like this?
Well, my first few projects were significantly smaller. So I broke my teeth on much smaller construction projects. This is unusual because of how much commercial space there is here.
Right.
Normally, if I'm doing mixed use development, I'm working on other buildings now, I'm trying to keep my commercial space to about 10% of leasable square feet.
I like that.
I finished one building, it's got 14 units. 1 space is commercial. 13 apartments leased up 2 months before we had a CO, right? Because apartments are easy. Commercial space, a year later, my tenant hasn't moved in, I'm not getting paid. But because it's only about 9-10% of my rent, I'm cash flowing.
Doesn't really matter.
This is unusual because of how much commercial space there is compared to the residential. And it's not something I'd normally recommend people do, right, in infill mixed use. But in this particular case, the location is unbelievable.
One thing I love that Daniel does, he supports the businesses that rent from him and in the community, right? So this is how you create a community effect. If you want to really bring up the value of real estate, support the businesses in your area. That's exactly what he does.
This is what I love about this whole project is this corner. It's going to be iconic.
Yeah.
It's rounded. I mean, this is going to be a building that is the centerpiece of the
Man.
neighborhood. Yeah.
Gridiron in Manhattan.
Mm-hmm. It's a little smaller.
Yeah.
A little smaller. But yeah, so they're already working on the build out for the commercial tenant.
How long have you been doing this now?
I mean, I've been rehabbing since 2008. I've been doing ground up from 2015. But we're going to see some smaller projects in a bit.
Yeah. So here's the deal. He started in the real estate business, 15 years ago, right? It took him time to be able to get here. So you're not going to rush into projects like this. Start smaller, right? Don't let this stuff intimidate you, but just know that it's possible.
So check this out. So this is going to be one of the entrances, one of the two entrances from the street. So you're going to come through here. There's big trash room here. Then there's going to be a door here. So this is for our tenants. So they're going to come through here, open this door, and walk through this hallway. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? How you doing? Stairs there, and then another staircase there, and then this is our courtyard. This is going to be strictly for tenant use, but I'm going to make this look like there's a hotel that I like to go to in Manhattan, Hudson Hotel. And they have this rooftop, and they have these huge planters and all this greenery. You walk up on this rooftop and you feel like you're in this tropical oasis. That's what we're going to have here. We've got we've got a designer working on the layout for this courtyard. But you're going to walk in here, and there's going to be greenery and shrubs and bushes and like tall planters, and you're going to feel like you just came in from the city into this like urban forest. Yeah. When you come in here, there's going to be benches and seating and like work areas for all of the tenants.
That's dope, man.
This is our typical one bedroom. It's only about 600 square feet.
This here?
Yeah, but it's efficient. Again, when you're designing buildings, you're designing apartments, you're designing houses, especially as construction costs go up, you need to think about efficiency. How can you be as efficient with your floor plans as possible? Where is their space usually wasted? It's in the hallway. In these one-bedroom apartments, there is no hallway. You walk in here, this is your kitchen, you walk through, the dining, the living room, and then good-sized bedroom, and then you walk through your closet to get to your bath. So there's no hallway here at all. These apartments are boxes.
Right.
So we're able to take 600 square feet and make it feel pretty big.
It still feels oversized.
Yeah, I mean, a couple can live here, right? They can fit a queen-size bed. Look at how much closet space you have. Double shelving. This is her closet. And we all know women, so this is also her closet. And then this is like his closet right here. Right? But you got a lot of closet space here. Then you walk through the closet. There's a 48-inch vanity here. So if you guys know your vanity sizes, a 48-inch vanity is a big vanity. It's enough for two people to store all of their belongings, cosmetics, toiletries, whatever, right? So this is an efficient layout. And this is my favorite part of the building. We're now in the tip.
Look at this, bro.
We're now in the tip of the building, right? This is you're right above the restaurant, but look how much natural light is in here.
Jeez.
You got 8 windows in this space.
You sat down with an architect.
Yeah.
He helped you draw this whole thing out, but some of your creative thinking had some type of vision in order to put all this together at first.
It's a team effort, right? So having a really great team is paramount. So having a good architect, having good engineers. Here we're working with interior designers also. But as a real estate developer, you shouldn't be blindly taking what your architect gives you, right? You need to be driving the vision. So typically when I meet with an architect on a new project, I already have an idea of what I want. Now the architect can help and make it better. They can make that vision come to life. But usually, if I have a piece of land, I'm coming to him with, I think this would be great here. Now sometimes I'll come to him and I'll say, hey, I've got this piece of land under contract. Do some basic modeling for me. Let me know what we can fit here. But I already usually have an idea in my head of what I'd like to see in the project. So
gotcha.
Here, this was challenging because it's a triangular sized lot. So adapting and maximizing the site and getting a really nice livable building here and getting floor plans that are efficient when you're constrained by, there's like no 90-degree angle in this building, right?
Yeah.
It's all weird curves and
Right.
and angles. So it takes a really great architect to be able to take a site and design a building where you're not just squeezing a bunch of units in, but these are livable units that people will actually, at the end of the day, like, why are we doing this? I'm not, if you want, I say this to people all the time, like, if you want to get rich quick, real estate development is not what you do, right? So we do this because we love it, right? I do this because I get to build something from scratch, something that's going to hopefully endure for 60, 80, 100 years. So if I'm going to bother doing that, I want to make sure I'm creating not just apartments. I want to make sure I'm creating apartments that are comfortable, livable, efficient. I want people to come home every day and be excited about coming home. You'll notice one of the things we always do is double stud walls for noise, right? There's a bedroom here separated from the living room of this apartment. So we always build 2 separate stud walls with an air gap in between. Then we insulate each wall, and then we usually hang double layer of 5/8 drywall on an RC channel. So soundproofing is really important.
Yeah.
Your biggest complaints from your tenants are going to come from about noise and just general maintenance issues, but noise is a big deal.
So
and you get one shot to soundproof it properly.
This is another apartment over here.
That's a bedroom.
This is a
for another apartment.
For another apartment.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah. So so if you're over here watching TV really loud, I'm here trying to sleep. We got a problem.
Right.
So we always do this type of wall design where it's 2 separate walls, and there's always this air gap because air blocks sound better than structure.
Got you.
I always tell people, obviously, cut your teeth on smaller projects. You get into something like this, and you really need to understand your due diligence well. You know, this site had bad soil, where we couldn't just put our regular foundations in. We had to dig 206, this is a small site, this is about 15,000 square feet. We had to put in 206 geopiers down 12 to 15 feet deep down to bedrock, right? Geopiers are incredibly expensive. You need super expensive equipment that the operator rents to come in and drill down, and then they pack all this gravel down, and they build essentially long piers, like super tall piers, and then your footers go on top of those piers, and then you can start building your foundation. Incredibly expensive. Down here below where we stand, there's a underground stormwater retention facility that it costs us about 150 grand to put in, because the city requires you to collect all your stormwater and hold it and slowly release it to the combined sewer and storm system. So like all the pipes out on the street, they're not just sewer pipes, they also collect rainwater. So they don't want you dumping during a big storm all your rainwater at the same time into the sewer, because what does that do? That overloads the sewer system, and where does all the poop go? Back into people's homes, right? So we have to collect all the stormwater system on site, underground, and then slowly release it. We had the experience to know to look for those things, and we had the experience to negotiate the land properly so we could budget for those things, right? If this was my first project, I may not have accounted for having to do these crazy foundations that cost a lot of money, to do the stormwater retention facility that costs a lot of money. I like to do as much as possible in one neighborhood. I like to hit as many infill lots in one neighborhood as possible, because every project I do brings up the next, right? So we've got, just on this street alone, we've already built and sold 8 houses, and we're building multiple duplexes. And then I just put 3 more lots under contract next to 3 more houses that I built. So I've already set comps for myself. So the next 3 houses I build, I'm going to price them higher, because of the comps next door. Like, this is my bread and butter projects right here. I build duplexes, and I have a ton of content online about duplexes, but these are easy to build. If you can build a single family house, you can build a duplex, because you also build it by residential building code.
Right.
So you don't have to engineer your drawings. You don't have to have structural drawings. You don't have to have a lot of complicated things that come with commercial development, right? But the benefit of building a duplex as a rental property is you're amortizing the cost of your roof, the cost of your foundation, the cost of your utilities over 2 units. It's much more efficient.
Right.
This is 2,500 square feet. If I rent that as a single family house, maybe I get $1,800 to $2,000. The same 2,500 square feet split into 2 apartments, I'm going to generate $3,200 to $3,400 in rent here.
So this is what, 20, you said, how many square feet is this?
The whole building is 2,500 square feet.
So you're going to be in for about 250 grand.
Not including the cost of land. But the numbers on residential right now, they work. So all in, let's say with the cost of land, with my cost of money, I'll be into this for $280.
Okay.
This will appraise for $440.
Now, what if the neighborhood is totally green to development and you wanted to do something like this? How do you get those numbers out of it?
You need to start any development you do, any rehabbing you do, anything you do, you need to start with the end in mind.
Right, because
so you need to look at the market rents, and then work your way backwards, right? So you need to start with the market rents. The overarching question you're asking yourself is, will the market rents support what it's going to cost me to bring this out of the ground?
Right.
So here, if it costs me all in $280, I need to be able to get at least a bare minimum of $2,800 in a rent roll to make it worth my while. So $1.
Sometimes you can't force.
So it's a 1% rule, basically, right? If my cost basis is $280, I need to be able to get 1% of that in rent, bare minimum, right? In this case, my rent roll here is going to be $3,200. So the numbers work.
It could be risky to do that too, though. Like to be the pioneer in the area.
It can be, and there's a risk to being the highest priced guy in the marketplace too, right? But at the same time, what we build is incredibly high quality. So like, look at the size of this kitchen. This is a 2-bedroom apartment. You have huge kitchens. We have wine racks. We have a huge island. Really nice granite. Like, you can't really see the quality yet, but we build a high quality product, so we command top of the market rents every single time.
It's funny because this is exactly what my kitchen looks like.
And this is easy to rent, right? So there is a risk to being the highest priced guy in the marketplace, but if you have a unique product, people will rent here and they'll pay you premium because they want to come home to a place that they enjoy living in. Everything I'm doing is in a 20, 30 year time horizon.
Got you.
So if I'm overpaying for land by 5 grand, 10 grand, it's okay, because I'm going to make that money back over time, right? You just need to know your numbers.
Yeah.
You don't want to make a practice out of overpaying, but sometimes if you have set your investment criteria, it's okay to go a little bit outside of the investment criteria if the deal still works, if your numbers still work. The good thing with these rentals, I happen to generate a lot of equity initially on them, but I don't need to. Meaning, if I'm doing a flip, I want to net at least 20-25% right on my flip. I have to. If I'm building a rental, it's nice if I get over 20% sweat equity, but I don't have to. If I can generate 15% sweat equity from day one, right? So in other words, like for people watching this, right, 15% sweat equity, meaning, on the very simple terms, if I spend $85,000 to buy the land and build the project, it's worth 100 now. So I created 15 grand of wealth.
Right.
I'm happy if I do that, right? Why? Because this residential stuff, we're putting on a 20-year mortgage, typically. So if I'm putting this in a 20-year mortgage at 3.5% interest rate, in the first 5 years, my tenants will pay down 17% of my note. So my sweat equity going in is only 15
3 years?
5 years.
5 years.
So my sweat equity is only 15% to start.
Right.
If I'm flipping it right now, I'm only making 15%. That's not good. But if I hold it in 5 years, that 15% grows by another 17% because of my tenants.
Right.
and then the appreciation on top of that that the market generates. So that 15% in the first 5 years is going to turn into 35-40%.
Easy.
Easy,
man.
right? And the tax
sense.
consequences of me holding it rather than flipping it are phenomenal.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I'm holding it all day long rather than flipping it. See everything? Somebody's in a hurry. Land I bought from wholesalers. I bought the land at a price that made sense. This came from a wholesaler. I could have put 2 single-family houses here and sold them. Instead, I went through the rezoning process to be able to build 2 duplexes. So the trick here is, if you look on the outside, it looks like a quad. It looks like a 4-unit apartment building. And effectively, it is a 4-unit apartment building.
Right.
But these are 2 individually deeded lots.
You just stuck them together.
2 permits, so I get to build in my residential building code.
Yep.
If I was just building a quad on 1 lot, I'd be putting in a sprinkler system, fire monitoring system, backflow preventers, additional fire rating,
so you
stormwater retention, all kinds of stuff. It would have driven my cost up by $30 a foot. Instead, I went through the rezoning process. I separated out the lot, and these are 2 separate permits, 2 separate buildings. In the end, I still have my quad, but I paid way less to build it.
Way less money.
So come look at this. This isn't even the best part. I mean, the kitchens, again, we overspent on the kitchens. The kitchen is going to be gorgeous, right? And the island is where everybody dines now. That's the new dining room. That's the new hangout room. But come check out these closets.
This is an oversized apartment, really, man.
It's huge. So this is the master. Look at this.
The laundry area right here?
No, I'll show you the laundry area. Look at this walk-in closet.
Sheesh, man.
It's the size of my first studio apartment in Manhattan. and we do double shelving in our closets.
What kind of flooring you said this was?
LVT.
LVT?
It looks like marble.
It does.
LVT flooring. Outside, so you can actually put like a dining table out there and lounge chairs. Off-street parking. I mean, like, dude, I live here, right? At the end of the day, I want to build the kind of stuff where I live myself. I don't want to build stuff that I would be ashamed to rent to people. This, again, we started advertising these units, and we're in dead middle of winter right now. We started advertising these units 2 days ago. Somebody came in here on the first showing. It's far from finished yet. They put down a deposit. And we're charging a premium in the marketplace right now. You know, here, this is $1,700 for a 2-bedroom. In this neighborhood, that's top of the market.
That is.
But again, premium product, easy to rent, easy to lease, easy to manage. So that's the laundry room. So you're gonna come in here, you've got a side-by-side washer and dryer, shelving here, storage. Even the laundry room is oversized. Now watch your step, make sure you guys don't fall off there.
Sure.
We don't want that. Same thing here, walk-in closet in there. So we actually renovated this building, kept it, preserved it, because it is a part of history. It's 100+ years old. So the historic tax credits made it possible because we had to sink so much money into that renovation. I mean, you saw the inside.
So that's why the building, because it's so old, we have foundation issues on it.
I mean, every kind of problem you can imagine.
Yeah.
The building was leaning. The sidewalk was caving in, so the building was caving in and the sidewalk was caving in like this.
Yeah.
So we had to go in, we underpinned every inch of the foundation first and rebuild the footers. We repoured the footers, rebuilt pieces of the foundation. Framed basically a new building inside that building. So compared to new construction, it was twice as long and twice as expensive.
Wow. But it paid off, man. I mean, it's a great piece of property.
It turned out nice.
You know what I mean? I like the story that you was telling me about Eileen. So the name of the building is Eileen, and the building is leaning a little bit. If you can see it, so that's good. That's actually good branding. So you could take a problem and create an opportunity out of it by branding it the right way.
Doors have to be perfectly straight in order to open and close. So the doors are plumb, but the building is leaning this way, and it's structurally sound. We reinforced every inch of that building. It's structurally not going anywhere. It's bomb-proof at this point, but to pull the building back when it's been leaning for decades would have required cranes and engineering, and you've got to pull it back like 1/4 of an inch every couple of days, it's almost impossible. So we left it alone. Instead, it's a brand now.
Yeah.
And people know this brand all over the place, man.
Yeah.
People know Eileen.
I love that,
Yeah.
man. Story of Eileen. How the leaning building became the brand for this particular block. This is an Airbnb building right here. He gutted it down to the studs. We actually stayed in this building last night. Great piece of property. This one right behind us is brand new. The whole point is you guys saw today exactly what he's doing. I'm going to leave a bunch of links in the description box for you. Number one, he has a wholesaling course for $18. You're not going to find it anywhere. He has a real estate investing software to evaluate these buildings. It's not a CRM per se, but it helps you evaluate these buildings. It's called Rehab Valuator. Definitely check that out. And also, he has free videos up on YouTube specifically showing you how to build these properties, how to hold them, how to do exactly what he's doing in order for you to be able to go from where you are to where you want to go. So make sure you check all those links out in the description box. A lot of great content today. So like this video, subscribe to this channel, click the notification bell, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.